Have you joined the revolution? Visit meetup.com/therevolution and become a business revolutionary. And now, back to Eric and Angel on the Experience Pros radio show.
Welcome back to the Experience Pros radio show with Angel and Eric. Thanks for taking time out of your business day to join us for ours. When was the last time you had a car on your face? That's all I got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, how often do we put limits on yourself? Do you feel like you're limited? Do you think that those limits that you put are self-imposed? Well, we're going to find out. Our next guest is Tom Cladis, a philosopher, thrill seeker, finance guru, and the author of How to Lift Cars Off Your Face and Other Tips for Living Forever. Cars, yeah. Really, did I say that right, Tom? Cars off your face?
Yes.
How to lift cars off your face. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
I think I know where our first question starts. What the heck? Cars? What?
Yeah.
What is that?
There was this kid up in Wisconsin, Hortonville, Wisconsin. His name was Lance Myers. And 18-year-old kid, not a big strapping football player, kind of a geeky type guy.
Kind of like me.
No, I wouldn't say that. But he was working on his car at his girlfriend's house, and it was up on the jack. It fell off the jack and onto his face. And with that car sitting on his face, he couldn't very well call out for help. And so he lifted the car off of his face, crawled out, and he sustained only some superficial cuts around his eyes from the glasses that he wore. And afterwards, reporters asked him, well, Lance, how were you able to lift that car off your face? And he said, because I didn't want to die. So in choosing to live, he had to simultaneously choose to reject the notion that he could not lift a car off his face, and freed of that barrier, he was able to accomplish the task.
You are a philosopher.
Yes.
We're going to get deep.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Bring it on.
All right. Well, let's, so the book truly is How to Lift Cars Off Your Face and Other Tips for Living Forever. Now, most of us aren't living in a state of, I have to choose life or death at this moment, or are we?
Well, actually, we are. I mean, there are no guarantees in life. I mean, it can be snapped away from you in a second. But it's when we're faced by that challenge for life and death, and we recognize it, that's when we're truly forced to make a choice. And that's where we're able to access these deep reservoirs of strength and courage that we otherwise would not have known existed.
So do we walk around and, kind of like this doomsday, this is the last day and the world is ending, and so let's go and see what we can conquer? Or is there something a little bit more mellow or
reasonable,
introspective?
Yeah, I would walk around life thinking that I can do anything. Whatever I'm confronted with, I'll be able to overcome it. And that's the mindset that I try to get across in my book, that, as you said earlier, all limits are self-imposed. And whether we consciously choose to accept that or not, now I have challenged death. I think death is a choice, and it always has been. But the fact that we have chosen to accept the inevitability of death means that we've chosen that for ourselves.
Okay, hold on.
There's nothing certain in life except for
hold on, mister.
Death and taxes. Like, it is a certainty.
Right. It is not. The fact that we think it's a certainty makes it a certainty.
All right. With the exception of the only one that I'm aware of, Jesus Christ, who has truly challenged death, then what basis upon which do you build your philosophy?
From the very beginning, Adam and Eve, when God created Adam and Eve and placed them in the Garden of Eden, eternal life was a choice for them. As long as they chose to stay focused on what God told them and not to eat the forbidden fruit, they would have lived eternally.
Okay, preacher. So gonna give full disclosure here.
Well, sure.
If we're gonna say that, then we can also draw upon the fact that since Adam and Eve and their choice, one would take the line, if biblical, if the Bible is to be our line of truth, then one could say that since then man has been cursed, and therefore it is no longer an option.
We could say that, but my perspective is different.
Okay.
God created us in His image, and He also created us with free will. So if we accept the fact that Adam and Eve made our choice for us, that means we don't have free will. And so I'm saying that God didn't create Adam and Eve any differently than he creates us, that we have free will as well, and that we have chosen poorly to accept the inevitability of death. And if we change like Einstein said, the only insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So if we keep thinking this way, that it's inevitable, it won't change.
This is fascinating, and the conversation could go on, and I'm sure that it will in many ways.
Yep.
The book is called How to Lift Cars Off Your Face and Other Tips for Living Forever by Tom Cladis. Before we get into my next question, where do we get a copy?
Yes, it's at the Tattered Cover Bookstore. It's also on Amazon.com. And my website, which is www.liftcarsoffyourface.com.
liftcarsoffyourface.com. You won't forget that. All right. So all of this, we're talking about living and making choices and eliminating the limitations that we put on ourselves. And if we get away from the life and death tragedy that could be walking in front of us, are there daily activities that the mindset is keeping us from? And are you finding that people are using some of the tips in the book to, I don't know, just get through a work
Overcome.
day?
Oh, that's the intention. I mean, I wanted to challenge the ultimate limit to maybe get people to think, to open their minds a little bit to
the lesser limits.
To the lesser limits, and those are in the workplace, in school, in relationships, wherever you think. Like if you're studying for a test and you think, oh, I'll never remember this. That's not a very good mindset. But if you change your mindset to thinking where if I need to recall this information, I will, then it goes into your mind very organized, and based on that mindset, you'll be able to recall that information. And the same with relationships. I could never go out with that girl or that guy. Change the mindset.
Change the mindset. Well, I think so much of what the decisions we make, Tom, are based on our past experiences. Maybe somebody rejected me, or I tried to ask somebody out once and they said no, or I tried to recall something on a test and I didn't, and we just allow those limitations to build up, and we think that it will continue to happen that way, right?
Right, and we're looking back, and we always choose to look forward. The way I look at it is, it's the mind is like a guided missile, and the way guided missiles are, you have a target, but when the missile first goes off, it goes off target, but then it automatically corrects, and it overcorrects. But
right.
All these series of overcorrections, by the time it gets to the target, you're dialed in. So we need to stay focused on our goal, stay focused on the target, and let our mind-body synergy make those little corrections, and then we will be dialed into that target.
The book, once again, How to Lift Cars Off Your Face and Other Tips for Living Forever by Tom Cladis. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. We're grateful to have you in here. I think we find a lot more in common than we do out of bounds, and I think that's fantastic. The website, liftcarsoffyourface.com, liftcarsoffyourface.com. I'm sure this is a fantastic read.
It's a good read. It's a challenging read,
sure,
and that's what it's meant to be. Because when I challenge people to say that, well, what you've chosen to believe might be wrong, I want them to
truly think about it.
Think about it, yeah. And so that's what it's meant to do.
Tom Cladis, liftcarsoffyourface.com, the book, How to Lift Cars Off Your Face. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Absolutely. Folks, don't go anywhere. More positive business talk coming next. You're listening to Angel and Eric on the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The Experience Pros are here to help you get your business right. To learn more, visit experiencepros.com.
Stop calling around looking for the best mortgage rates and call ALMC Mortgage. ALMC Mortgage matches you with the right mortgage for your needs every single time. Now's the right time to finance. Call ALMC Mortgage today at 303